I say it's not like they try. It's just that colored people have that. It's in their demeanor. Certain accents just make people sound more dangerous than other accents do, you know? It's just that vibe. Like, that's why colored people sound very dangerous, you know? It's the same reason Indian people could never, like, you wouldn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, I mean, no. Indians, no. Indians are just like, they super chilled out. They just, you know what I mean? Indian people, they couldn't do anything malicious in that way, you know? They wouldn't scare you in that way, you know? I mean, can you imagine getting robbed by an Indian guy? It just wouldn't work out, you know? It just wouldn't be the same. Give me your damn money. Give me your money now. Give me your damn, I'll stab you. I'll stab you now. Tony, I'll cut your throat from here to here. I'll give me your damn money. You'd be like, what are you doing, man? Dude, what are you doing? Don't you, what you laughing about? I'll give you something to laugh. Give me your damn money. Give me your damn money now. You'd be shocked. You wouldn't be scared. We'd be confused. As a person getting robbed there, standing at knife point, an Indian guy, you'd be confused. Because most of us have never been in a situation where we have to give Indian people money without them giving us something in return. It just wouldn't work out. That's why Indian people never play villains in movies. Have you noticed that? All the big movies, James Bond and Born Identity, and all, you never have Indian villains. Ever, ever, ever. It just doesn't work out. Because Indian people don't have that vibe. They'll use other people, you know, from the Asias and the Middle East and everything. They'll use Chinese and they'll use the Arabs and they love the Muslims now. But they'll never use Indian people. Just wouldn't, they just don't have the dangerous sound to them. It's always got to be the classic scene in the movie, you know? It's got to be the United Nations gathered around a table. Then on the big screen comes that terrorist announcement. The assistant runs in. Sir, it's a message from the terrorist Boris. And they switch on the screen. Pew! And then Boris comes on. Hello, United Nations. It is I, Boris. Boris Kublechnikov. I have placed bombs all over the world in major cities. And if you don't pay me $1 billion US, I will make world go kaboom. You've got 1 hour. That's Vidania. Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? They'd be scrambling for the money. They'd be, what are we going to do? We'd never have an Indian guy doing that. Just wouldn't be the same. Assistant running into the room. Sir, it's the infamous terrorist Rajesh. Let's switch on the big screen. Pew! And there he'd be. Is it on? Okay. Hello? Hello, UN. Hello, namaste, namaste. Namaste, how are you, uncle, auntie? Pleasure. My name is Rajesh. And I have placed bombs strategically all over the world. Now, if y'all don't pay me $1 billion US, I will proceed to make the entire world go kaboom. They'll be like, but Rajesh, we don't have money, Rajesh, we don't have money, it's the credit crunch. Okay, how much you got then? Because, I mean, I don't want to destroy the world. Where would I go on holiday? The madness. Absolute madness. But I digress. Where was I? Yes, so being colored, I'll explain it to you. See, a lot of people get confused by this. They get confused, you know? They get confused by the whole colored, non-colored issue. Because it's something so specific, you know? Something so specific to South Africa, you know? She's just having a great time. See, Indian villains. Indian guy sitting there going, we're real dangerous. Damn you! Damn you, woman! Damn you! I'll break you now! Because you see, the whole being colored thing is really confusing, you know, for a lot of people. And I always try and explain to people that although I am colored, I'm colored by color, but not by culture. Which is a difficult thing for a lot of people to understand. Because being colored is, in fact, a culture. It's not just a racial thing, you know? And I'm colored by color, but it gets confusing for people because they go, oh, what the hell does that mean? You know, who are you? What is that? Like, for instance, are you colored, ma'am? You are? See, you colored. So, with regards to your parents, are they colored? And then your grandparents, are they colored? And then great-grandparents most probably colored as well. You see, so that's pretty much the case. Whereas with me, I'm the first colored in the family. I'm the only one, you see? So to make it simple to understand, think of us both as Oros. We both Oros. You know the juice. We Oros. Yes. The only difference is I'm the Oros that's still in the bottle. She's diluted. You see, that's how... That's basically how it works out, see? I'm first generation, which was really strange for me growing up because I grew up in a mixed family. Well, with me being the mixed one in the family, but still. Because my mother's a black woman, Xhosa, born in Transkei, and my... Xhosa people cheering. Woohoo! You guys are super proud, aren't you? You guys just love the click. Woo! Look at us! Sankalela. Spanga. Faka ngempama. So my mother, yes, Xhosa woman, born in Transkei, black woman. My father was a white man, born in Switzerland. Well, he still is. It's not like he changed. Is a white man, born in Switzerland. So my father's Swiss and he's white. So that's how I came out like this, you know. So some people call me colored. I like to think of myself more as a, I don't know, a BEE baby, you know. Yeah, I'm like a BEE baby. And some people get technical and they go, well, if you BEE, then who's got more shares? Are you 51% white? Or are you 51% black? Which one is it? I think I'm 51% black. I think I am 51% black. Although I must admit, most of the time when I stand in the toilet next to men from Venda, I wish I had a little bit more black empowerment. Venda guy at the back going, nah. So I grew up like this, which was really strange, because you remember back in the days, you know, white people and black people weren't allowed to get into relationships. Interracial relationships weren't allowed. So my parents met in like those underground liberal clubs, you know. They had a good time there. So obviously my mom was like, ooh, I'm going to get a white man. Weekend special. You know? And then my dad, well, you know how the Swiss love chocolate. So, so they got together, they had me, and things were a bit complicated in the beginning because I couldn't live with my father, you know, neither could my mom because of the laws of the time. So I had to go back to Soweto with my mom after I was born, and I had to live with them in my grandmother's house, which was wonderful. The only problem was my mom couldn't tell anybody that the father of her child was in fact a white man, because then they'd get into trouble. So she just left everyone to their own assumptions, which is not generally the best choice. Because you'd be surprised at the irrational choices that people would come up to and the decisions they'd make Basically, people assumed that I was in fact an albino. You laugh, but it was true. They still loved me though, they still loved me. Apparently when I got home, you know, my family was gathered around. As I walked in, my gran looked in, she like opened the blanket and she was like, "Yoo, how shame. Ooh, little Albie. No, put the umbrella, it's going to bend. Ooh." But they loved me, you know. I grew up in this family, and I was just regarded as this...
I have to tell you about this video that I found on a night when I desperately needed to laugh. It was one of those evenings where everything felt too serious, too heavy, too much. I was scrolling through my feed, looking for something to lift my spirits, something to make me forget about the weight of the world for a little while. And I came across this title that made me smile immediately. Trevor Noah on Indian accent versus Russian accent, Indian villains versus Russian villains. And I thought, oh, this is going to be hilarious. Trevor Noah, the man who can find humor in anything, talking about accents and movie villains? I knew I was in for a treat. So I clicked on it, and what followed over the next 30 minutes was one of the funniest, most insightful, and surprisingly thought-provoking things I have ever experienced. It was not just a comedy routine. It was a commentary on culture, on stereotypes, on the way we see each other through the lens of entertainment. And I have been thinking about it ever since. The video opens, and Trevor Noah is on stage, looking as sharp and confident as ever. He has that familiar twinkle in his eye, that way of drawing you in with his words. He starts by saying, "You know, I have been thinking a lot about movie villains. About the way we portray them. About the accents we give them. And I have noticed something. There is a difference. A big difference. Between the way we portray Indian villains and the way we portray Russian villains. And I want to talk about that today. And right away, I am hooked. I am leaning forward, because I know he is about to say something that is going to make me laugh and think at the same time. He starts by talking about Russian villains. He says, "You know, Russian villains are always so serious. They are always so intense. They have these deep, gravelly voices. They speak in this slow, measured way. They are always plotting something, always scheming, always trying to take over the world. And they are always so cool. They wear these sharp suits. They have these sleek, modern layers. They have these sophisticated plans. And even though they are the bad guys, you kind of admire them. You kind of respect them. Because they are so good at being bad. And I am laughing because it is so true. Russian villains are always so cool. They are always so composed. They are always so intimidating. And even though we are supposed to hate them, there is something about them that is almost admirable." He then talks about Indian villains. And this is where it gets really funny. He says, "And then you have Indian villains. And Indian villains are completely different. Indian villains are always so dramatic. They are always so over the top. They speak in this exaggerated accent. They make these grand gestures. They are always laughing maniacally, always twirling their mustaches, always doing something ridiculous. And they are never cool. They are never sophisticated. They are just funny. They are so over the top that you can't even take them seriously. And I am laughing so hard I can barely breathe. Because it is so true. Indian villains are always so dramatic. They are always so over the top. And there is something about them that is just so entertaining." He goes on to talk about why this is. He says, "I think it comes down to how we see these cultures. Russian villains are portrayed as serious because we see Russians as serious. We see them as powerful, as sophisticated, as dangerous. And we give them that respect, even when they are the bad guys. But Indian villains are portrayed as funny because we don't take Indian culture seriously. We see it as exotic, as different, as something to be laughed at. And that comes through in the way we portray them. And I think about how true that is. The way we portray villains says so much about how we see different cultures. It reflects our biases, our assumptions, our stereotypes. He talks about the impact this has. He says, and this matters. It matters because the way we see people in movies affects the way we see people in real life. If we only see Indian people as funny, as over the top, as ridiculous, we start to see them that way in real life. And that is not fair. That is not right. That is not the full picture. Because Indian people are so much more than that. They are serious. They are sophisticated. They are powerful. They are complex. And they deserve to be seen that way. And I feel a sense of recognition. Because he is right. Stereotypes in media matter. They shape the way we see each other. They shape the way we treat each other. And we have to be aware of that. He then talks about his own experience with accents. He says, you know, I grew up speaking multiple languages. I grew up hearing different accents. And I learned that every accent has a story. Every accent has a history. Every accent has a culture behind it. And when you reduce an accent to a punchline, you are reducing an entire culture to a punchline. And that is not okay. And I think about how important that is. Accents are not just sounds. They are part of who we are. They are part of our identity. And they deserve to be respected. He talks about the importance of representation. He says, we need to see more Indian people in roles that are not just comic relief. We need to see them as heroes, as leaders, as complex characters. Because that is what they are. That is who they are. And when we only see them as villains, as sidekicks, as jokes, we are missing out on so much. And I feel so much respect for him. Because he is using his platform to challenge stereotypes, to call out bias, to ask for better representation. And that is so important. He ends the video with a message that is so powerful, so funny, and so full of truth, that I am still thinking about it. He says, so the next time you watch a movie, pay attention to the villains. Pay attention to how they are portrayed. Pay attention to the accents they use. And ask yourself, why are they portrayed that way? What does it say about how we see that culture? And then think about how you can see people differently. How you can see them as full, complex, beautiful human beings, not just as stereotypes. Because that is what we all deserve. We all deserve to be seen for who we truly are. And I sit there, in my living room, and I am laughing and thinking at the same time. I feel like I have just been given a gift, a precious gift that I didn't even know I needed. Because this video, this hilarious, insightful, thought-provoking video, it reminded me of the power of comedy. It reminded me that we can laugh and learn at the same time. It reminded me that we all have a responsibility to challenge stereotypes, to see people for who they truly are, and to demand better representation. And I am so grateful for that. So that is my commentary. That is my experience. That is my reflection. And if you have not seen this video, I urge you to watch it. I urge you to open your heart to its message. I urge you to let it make you laugh, to let it make you think, to let it remind you of the power of comedy to challenge and to change. Because it is truly hilarious. It is truly moving. And it will stay with you long after the video is over. Just like it has stayed with me. I will never forget this video. I will never forget the wisdom of Trevor Noah. And I will never, ever stop challenging stereotypes and seeing people for who they truly are.